Hello everyone, this is my playthrough of Oregon Trail, which is one of the oldest video games still being played today. This was originally developed by the Minnesota Educational Computer Corporation, which was actually public sector, and it involves basically management of resources for a wagon train going across the country on the Oregon Trail, out to Oregon. And it's meant to teach school children about history, but of course it's become a cult favorite with pretty much everybody. This is the original Commodore 64 version, if I'm not mistaken, and you can see I'm running it in the Vice emulator. So it has charts of all the various resources, and at each turn you can choose one of several actions, including hunting. In this version, the combat is very theoretical. You basically type a word and you shoot your gun. And whether you hit your target is randomized. So same thing with wild animal attacks. Basically, you can be attacked by wild animals, by hostile riders, or you can hunt. Those are the situations. And you can also stop at forts along the way to buy more supplies with your remaining cash that you didn't spend at the beginning. So here I'm choosing to hunt. So I type in wham, quote, and then these are incidents, of course. When you have an incident, your resources can be consumed, like bullets, medical supplies. Miscellaneous supplies generally means medical. And that's the end of the game. This is the end. President James K. Polk is congratulating you. The second version from 1984 is the one that I actually know well. See, but if we jump ahead, the second version has slightly better graphics. The version that I had when I was a kid was this one, which was a compilation of 3 different MECC Expedition games, which included Oregon Trail. But the version had, for example, a slightly more realistic hunting model that was slightly more skills-oriented, as we'll see in a minute. MECC are sort of interesting in that they were public sector and successful. They never actually lost money. They were privatized in 1991, and now they're the Learning Company, if I'm remembering right. And that's how you buy Oregon Trail today. MECC also have these expeditions descriptions to tell you about each of the games. FURS and Voyager are not very well known today, actually. You can also test your screen. You can test your sound, like this, because they have a pretty extensive menu. But we're going to play Oregon Trail here. So I've sped everything up a little bit because Commodore 64 is, I've forgotten how slow they are. So even in an emulation, everything takes a while. Now you select your hunting skill level there. This matters more for how difficult it is rather than the odds of hitting something, because as you'll see in a moment, you actually shoot in this version of Oregon Trail. And in any case, I invest exactly the same amount of money in this game as I did in the text-only one. Of course, this one is mostly text. It's just not text-only. So it asks if you want to change anything. You say no. And then so you have your resources up above. You can call up your map if you want to, which is a new feature for the 1984 version. And it shows you where you are. All these states, of course, didn't exist yet in 1847, so that's inaccurate. There were a few territories, and most of those would become states later. In any case, I'm choose to hunt, and as you can see, you hit the F key, and it's all about timing, basically. If your timing is wrong, you miss. If your timing is good, you hit. So you hit the space bar, and you get a little bit of food from it. But you have to use up some bullets. That's how it works. And then you eat poorly, moderately, or well. My experience is that if you eat anything less than well, it puts you at a disadvantage, which is realistic. And generally, you're not going to run out of food unless you manage your resources atrociously. So generally, that's a trick of this game, is that to not assume you're going to run out of food. Assume you will have enough, because otherwise... And make, getting enough food a priority, obviously. So here we have the option of stopping at the next fort. We don't really need anything except for the miscellaneous supplies, which, as I've said before, is basically medical supplies. That's basically what it means. So we replenish them a little bit. If you don't have enough, you can actually die of disease along the way. That's why they're important. So, again, eat poorly, moderately well. Eat well. And, you know, the incidents still happen which consume your supplies. And slow you down as well. So then we hunt again. I've shortened the hunting scenes because, you know, we have to fit within the 10-minute time frame. Eat well. See, it doesn't really kill the food that much, actually. Miscellaneous supplies again. There's of course very crude sound in this too. That's another difference from the text version. And here, I always say circle your wagons when you have hostile riders because it leaves your options open. It's a defensive position. If I'm recalling correctly, you can actually fight the attackers. It's not a common scenario in the game. And you use the same interfaces for hunting when you're fighting them. Another hunting trip. Clothing mostly matters for tolerating weather and not dying of disease or exposure. I generally buy 120 so that I can lose 20 along the way to incidents. There's the map. We're in modern-day Idaho, although, again, in the old days, this would not have been Idaho, per se. It would have been part of the Oregon Territory, actually. So, more supplies. One of the reasons I don't buy more at the start of the game is that it's hard to tell exactly how much you'll need at the beginning, and you always might need cash for something else. Now, of course, there's the hunting interface again, but this time for wild animals, which I think are supposed to be wolves. Hunt again. Eat well, and then the food goes down. The food supply is actually getting a little bit low, so it might be a good idea to hunt again. So, health supply is down, supply of bullets down. I mean, in real life, this would be an extremely dangerous situation, actually. I'm not clear on whether basic medical treatment would be enough to save the life of the person in 1847. I mean, medicine was very primitive then. So anyway, if you're close to the end, they jump you over the last few miles and make you have a very long final day. And of course, again, President Polk congratulates you. And that's the end of the game. So in any case, thanks for watching.